Hello everybody, this is GeneralJannis, and today in Chaos Tactics I'm looking at the Chaos Space Marines and their faction focus on the first rules we get from 10th edition relating to Chaos. So let's see what's in store for us Chaos armies of 40k. So today, the 4th of May the 4th be with us, to paraphrase some other universe. But interesting now from Games Workshop that we will get a daily faction focus. So far, we have seen Space Marines, Tyranids, the first Chaos Army, Chaos Space Marines, and then soon, at some point, we will also get Thousand Suns, Death Guard, the Demons, and hopefully also Chaos Knights. But as I said in this video, focus on the review, the reveals for the faction focus for Chaos Space Marines, looking at the faction abilities, looking then at the Legionaries, Abaddon, and some other weapons and strats that have been revealed. So looking at the army-wide rule for the Chaos Space Marines, for the Heretic Astartes, we have the Dark Pacts, and basically you can select an ability to, when you shoot or fight with a Heretic Astartes unit, this unit can do a Dark Pact. Then you can select either sustained hits, which is exploding 6s to hit, or lethal hits, probably this means auto-wounding on 6s to hit. But after you make this, let's say, this Dark Pact and you execute your attacks, you will have to take a leadership test. If you fail, your unit suffers D3 mortal wounds, so offering something to the Chaos Gods to gain damage, but it can backfire as well. The detachment that has been mentioned for Chaos Space Marines is Slave to Darkness, but they haven't revealed what type of detachment rule comes with this detachment. But compared to today's Let the Galaxy Burn, that's pretty more consistent, I think, to give you the exploding 6s, depending on the weapon type, and you don't have to suffer the mortal wound. So a little bit of, both give and take here for the Dark Pacts. Then looking at the Legionaries datasheet, the main troops for the Chaos Space Marines. The first types of datasheets they were showing us looked very nice and neat, and now you see the complicated things when you have a unit that has really a lot of weapon options. You have I assume the one is in the front side and the other on the back side. And here you can see it doesn't look so neat, and having all the weapons. Also, some of the weapons that are selected, they have asterisk, and they said you need to cross-reference an armory card for certain weapons. Some of these heavy weapons that are more common, but then you would need a special card for those. So somehow the neatness doesn't look as nice and light as some of the earlier data sheets that previewed. And the new ability for the Legionaries, Veterans of the Long War, in melee they can reroll once to wound. So basically having like everything is like plague weapons for like Death Guard current rules, rerolling the ones to wound. And if they are attacking something near an objective marker, then they can reroll all to wound. And the icon gives a reroll leadership test, and this can be quite nice with a Dark Pact, where if you fail your leadership test, instead of taking mortal wounds, you have a chance to roll over the leadership of 6+. Looking more to the Legionaries weapon options, the choices are quite similar as today. The champion can take a variety of weapons. One of the models in the unit can have a chaos icon. All Legionaries, they can replace their bolt gun with a Astartes chainsword for more melee damage output. You can have one of these the new heavy melee weapons. This is quite strong, as you will see in the next page. And you can take the Balefire Tome that now basically is just a shooting weapon. I'll also show you also in the next page. And in the 1 in 5 weapons, there is a lot of choices. The ones with double asterisk, you can't find the rules on the data sheet. There wouldn't be enough room, so there you have to cross-reference this so-called armory card, but quite similar. No big surprises on the equipment as is today. Looking now at the Legionaries' stats and their weapons, so basically we have typical intercessor marine type of stat line with 6 move, toughness 4, 3+ save, 2 wounds, 6+ leadership, the new leadership, and 2 as objective control, being troops. And then we see now the Balefire Tome, psychic attack, two shots with hitting on 3s, and then you have strength 5, AP -1, damage 1, a bit of lackluster. I will show you the damage output on the next page. No changes for the bolt pistols, the bolt guns, no AP of course. We have also the melta gun, as we have seen the profile that we saw for Marines. This is the same, going up to strength 9. And then the plasma seems also to be unchanged as the current rules. A bit lower AP on the standard non-supercharged value. And then the Reaper chain cannon, still 8 attacks, but no AP. So quite a lot of weapons seem to be losing their AP. And we see then the Havoc autocannon becomes strength 9 instead of strength 7, so quite a nice increase in strength, being able to do some wounds on vehicles, and also becoming a damage 3, but also losing a pip of AP. And in the melee weapons, we have the heavy melee weapon now it doesn't have a penalty. Let's say on the weapon skill, still hits on 3s, strength 8, AP -2, damage 2. So that's one of the better options for the melee. So in this table, just a brief weapon comparison of the main weapons for the Legionaries. Of course, we'll have to redo this when we have the points. Some of these weapons probably will cost more points to bring. There is quite a lot of AP0 or low AP weapons. Those are quite lackluster versus Terminators. So the new Terminators, seeing what damage a bolt gun or the flamer can do, or the Balefire Tome is quite lackluster. We need to get up to something like the Havoc autocannon to do something versus the Terminators, and with the damage 3 that could be a potential good weapon, but the Terminators will be saving on a 3+. Versus something like chaff opponents, then the Reaper chain cannon, standing still, for example, could give you some nice damage output there. And we see the melta gun and the Havoc autocannon with strength 9. Those are also able to do a little bit versus vehicles, while bolt guns and things like that, as we've seen previously, very lackluster against the very tough vehicles of the 10th edition. In melee, we see the heavy melee weapon quite good damage output, and the starter's chainsword, of course, better than the close combat weapon, more attacks, and you get also the AP -1, and basically, but then you will be giving up on the ranged attacks. If you add sustained hits here, 25% more damage on average, exploding 6s to hit, and all the melee weapons they are benefiting from reroll 1s to wound. Then looking at the leader, Abaddon the Despoiler. So let's say also a bit interesting, because we see, for example, the movement. Previously he could move 6 inches, now he can move only 5 inches. Previously he had toughness 6, now he seems to be toughness 5. The save unchanged, and the wounds and so on. He has an objective control of 4. His ability Dark Destiny can give you command points if he successfully makes the Dark Pact, and he has quite good ability of doing that with a leadership of 5+. He has very strong weapons in melee, like currently has 8 attacks with the heavy profile. Devastating wounds, giving 6s to wound in melee would be giving additional mortal wounds. And he has all the god keywords, and then he has 3 auras that you can select in the command phase. First of all is a reroll all to hit for friendly Heretic Astartes units, so that's a powerful aura for all the Chaos Space Marine units. He can give infantry and mounted units 4+ invul save, so that could be quite good for example, Legionaries that we saw before. Or he can do an aura to reroll leadership and battle shock test. That seems to me to become more and more important as the game is progressing. In the rules we are seeing A lot of factions can force you to take battle shock tests, and having the rerolls there could be quite handy. But why did they have to make him slower? So today, the 30th of April, this week I had last week I had a chance to play a 2000 points game, taking my Death Guard versus Nurgle Demon. So it was really a Nurgle shootout here. But it was a loss for me. It was a close game, interesting game. And the big Primarchs and Be'lakor and the Great Unclean One all faced off. They didn't come to fight in this game, but it was I'm thinking to do a video about the missions with the diagonal deployment, because those are notoriously hard for Death Guard, at least when I play them. But today in this video, looking at the updates from Warhammer Fest for the 10th edition, the Codex roadmap, the new Leviathan box set, the new datasheets that were revealed, and looking at their damage comparing to the other weapons we know so far for 10th edition. Let's get started. Looking at some of the other revealed weapons, the Bale Flamer, and we're continuing the same theme. Let's say that in the Bale Flamer you get more attacks. Previously you had 2d3 attacks, now it's d6 plus 3 attacks, so more attacks on average here. But the range is reduced for the Bale Flamer. Instead of 18 inches, now you have 12 inches, and you also lose a pip of AP. And then Torrent, that we have seen for many weapons, it's indeed auto-heating for this type of flamer weapons. And then if we look at the flesh metal guns, a bit similar thing. We see a much bigger strength for the focused malice, and also the possibility to do +2 damage if you're in half range. So that's a strong weapon. And we see the Ruinous Salvo also getting more strength. But if we go to the Warp Hail, previously we had the d6 plus 9 shots. Now it's d6 plus 3 shots. So taking something and giving a little bit of a mixed stats here. So showing one of the 6 stratagems for the Slaves to Darkness detachment, the Dark Obscuration. This is a defensive strat that you can use when fired upon. The unit that is targeted can be gaining the stealth ability, and if this unit is a Nurgle unit, this will bring an additional boon that it cannot be targeted if the enemies are outside of 12 inch. And they mention that the 5 of the 6 stratagems will have a certain boon for a certain of the Chaos Guard or Chaos Undivided. So that seems to be how the Chaos Space Marines strats will be doing, giving you a boon and then adding an additional bonus for a certain allegiance for the Chaos Guards. So reaching to the summary and final thoughts here, all in all, I think so far a bit of a mixed bag. Some things improving, some stats improving, other stuff's decreasing. It's a bit difficult, of course, to gauge the total strength just from the reveals. The army-wide rule is a bit, to me, sounds like a bit lower utility than the current one, which you could more consistently get exploding sixes, but without risking the mortal wounds. But you can also get auto wounds. So yeah, it's a bit mixed, of course. Abaddon has gotten some nice auras, but for example, why does he have to be slower? And then, of course, I need now to have, when I have a little bit of time this weekend, probably I'll make a Gilliman versus Abaddon battle to see who's the better of those two from the 10th edition strats we have. Let's see how the other Chaos factions will be. But so far, every time I see something from Space Marines, it seems like always something improving. Here for Chaos Space Marines, it's both ups and downs. So let me know what you think in the comment. This concludes the video. Let me know in your comments what your thoughts are, and something I missed or something you want to comment. If you want to discuss further, visit the Discord channel. If you want to support my efforts, please visit the Patreon page or become a YouTube member. And with these words, GeneralJannis signing out. Stay safe out there, and bye-bye.